All right. Eli, Taylor, we're here. I wanted to get you guys together because I wanted to talk about horror today. But before we get like deep into the horror conversation, Taylor, I have a really good question for you, and I want an honest question from you, okay? Or an honest answer. All right. If there was one horror icon that was after you, who would like who would be the worst one for you?
And like as a character itself, probably someone like Pennywise or Freddy, mostly because you don't really know how to handle that. But then now we got like characters like Art the Clown, because
Okay,
it's
okay.
like so with guys like Freddy, there are rules. There are like there's ways to get out of it. The whole don't fall asleep, and then you lead into all these like all these dream sequence stuff. But now you got Art the Clown, in which case the rules just go nah, whatever we want. It's almost like infuriating. You know what I mean?
Why do you
Like
say it's
like he sticks a gun in his mouth and just like fires up, and then at the end of the movie he's just like
I feel that. I feel that.
yeah.
Yeah, and then the fucking demon brings him back to life and just, gives him powers and shit.
Yeah.
Art
Whereas
the
like
Clown is
Freddy, it's
terrifying.
like, oh, we pull him out of the dream, we kill him here, and we're safe for like 6 months.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I feel like Freddy would be the most frightening. Art the Clown, I feel like I could just like travel from city to city and kind of avoid him unless I'm Sienna, then he's like after me. But I guess Freddy kind of has the same motives. It's mostly about kids on Elm Street and stuff like that, or someone related in a way. But I feel like Art the Clown just only exists because Freddy exists. Like characters like Freddy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we have like taken horror movie characters with all these like superpowers and things like that, with these otherworldly things, and we've just had to keep upping the ante. Just like, okay, what's more scary than a guy who can invade your dreams, or what's more scary than an interdimensional clown monster that bends reality? Well, how about a regular clown? But we just completely throw out the rules on what makes a horror movie a horror movie.
So true. Because
I think the
Art the
worst
Clown,
part of Art the Clown is that he makes absolutely no noise, none.
no, he's literally silent with facial expressions as he's
Yeah.
like doing the most horrific things to people.
And yeah, the whole time it's almost like you're like, say something, you weird bastard. It's like, have you ever seen The Strangers?
Yes,
Okay,
whenever yeah.
when I first saw Strangers, it was gut wrenchingly terrifying because there's like no music in the background, no nothing. You
Mm-mm,
just
mm-mm.
camera pans over and bam, one of them's in the house. They walk outside and all of a sudden, bam, axe. No score, no jump scare music, nothing. Just,
Right, it's intense the whole
yeah.
time, and then they're like, why is it us? Why'd you come after us? Because you were home." Like, when the first Strangers movie came out, I really, really enjoyed that, but then they made, like, a part 2 and then, like, a chapter 1 or whatever, and both those
Terrible.
movies were trash. Like, they were just
Yeah,
bad.
and like at the end of the second movie, that's when I said this franchise just crapped the bed. That was when like they just run down one of them, and the girl had her mask off. She's got this whole like smug smile. She looked like a high school girl that like just got caught pulling a prank on one of the nerdy students. She's like, and then she's like, "Why would you do this? Why not?" I'm like, "Okay, now I want to see you die just because of that line."
Yeah, it's not as good as because you were home line.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one was like way, that one
So
hit.
open ended, and not just that, but they killed it because that took away all the scary stuff from the first movie. Like in Strangers 1, no music, they didn't make any sounds that much. I mean, I think you got one or two grunts out of them, but then in the second one, like they'll just like pop out and they're like peekaboo,
Right.
and then there's music, and I'm like, well, now you're not scary, you're just some asshole in a mask.
You're just another like rip off. I don't want to say Scream or Ghostface, but you know what I'm saying? Just another, slasher villain with a mask on. Everything that made y'all scary and intimidating in the first movie pretty much gets taken away with the second movie and the reboot that they did, which I thought was gonna be like a prequel, but it's just a remake of the first one, which is
Oh yeah.
or just a reboot anyway.
It wasn't even a reboot. It was just like hey, how can we crappily remake? Like, we think we have the formula. It's like they basically just loosely described the plot to one guy, and he's like, yeah, okay, I think I can do that, and just kind of did what he thought was the movie.
Right. Which brings me to another point. So like comparing like old school horror to like new school horror, where would you say that you lie? Would you say that you lie more towards old school or new school? I know where Eli lies, but I want to hear your opinion on it first.
So I like all horror, but I think I have a more affinity to like the classics. I mean, like, see all that on the wall.
Dracula, yeah.
I love the Universal horror movies, but then again, it's probably just because I like old movies. But some of my favorite horror movies were like the original Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. But then I think a lot of my favorite movies came out in the 90s. So like, Scream and Candyman and things. I love Candyman. That's one of my all-time favorites.
Love Candyman. Did you see the
Actually, I do
remake?
have a story involving Candyman.
Did you see the remake
I did. I loved it.
or the latest adaptation of
Requel,
Candyman?
I guess it's called now.
Yeah, requel.
Yeah. I actually have a story involving Candyman. My friend John and I, we went to a horror movie convention in Atlanta. And this is around the time the Candyman movie had come out because there are billboards everywhere about the Candyman.
Right.
So we're walking up to the building because we've seen the signs coming into Atlanta. We're still talking about Candyman. We're just like, well, what happened in the movie when he did this? This was one of the best kills, but I didn't understand this part. And we're having this very heated conversation about Candyman, all the while we're trying to find the front entrance to this building because it's 2 blocks away from the parking garage. And we're looking around, we're like, how do we get in here? And then like there's somebody kind of like behind us, like a good distance away, but close enough to where like we know they're probably going in the same building as us. We're like, maybe we should ask that guy because we see him out the peripheral of our vision. And then we look at him, he's got like the COVID mask on and everything. And we're like, does that guy kind of look familiar to you? And we're just kind of staring at him for a minute. And that's when we realized it was Tony Todd, the guy that played Candyman.
No fucking way.
And then we're like freaking out, we're like, oh my God. And I turned to my buddy, I go, you know what just happened, right? He goes, what? I said, we were just talking about Candyman. And Candyman appeared. We summoned him.
He said we said it more than one time. We said it 3 times.
5 times.
5 times.
And then at the Q&A, I got to ask a question. And before I asked the question, I raised my hand and said, yeah, me and my buddy were having a heated discussion about Candyman before we realized you were following us. So thank you for not murdering us with your hook. And then without missing a beat, Tony Todd just like leans forward with the mic. He goes, you get one. Like, what? And then I just asked my nerdy ass question. And then Tony Todd is actually really smart and insightful. Like that whole panel was so good.
Yeah,
He's a big theater buff.
It's sad that he's gone, man. He's got his last movie with
Final Destination,
Bloodlines. Yeah,
Dr. Death.
Yeah, Dr. Death. So Eli, we know that you're on the side of newer horror.
Respect to the classics,
Okay.
But I just feel like with modern technology and less limitations on what you can actually put on the screen, modern horror is just more my speed. Midsummer, Hereditary, the new Terrifiers, especially. Like you just don't see stuff like that in the the more back in time you go.
Yeah,
what do you think of like the modern like sequels, like Scream that just came out, or Final Destination, or the new Saw?
See, my whole thing is like this. They, like you're saying, yes, it's either a sequel of something that's already been done, or they're working off of things that have been done in the past, like Midsummer. Hereditary, I give you that. Okay, I'd have to take a second to actually go back and look and see if I can find a movie in the past that matches it like that. But Midsummer, I could already throw that. We've already talked about this a little bit, but The Wicker Man literally is like similar to that. You know what I'm saying?
I think
definitely familiar
kind of played off of Prodigy.
Prodigy, is that the one where the
little boy, he like
inside the
like serial killer, it dies at the same time this little boy is born.
Boy's born and he transfers and it makes him really smart or whatever.
Yeah,
that movie was okay. That movie literally stole from another horror movie, Sting. Back in the literally when the hallway scene when he's a little boy and he runs and turns into a grown man, you could literally shot by shot play it, and it was Shocker. I'm sorry, not Sting. That's Sting. The movie's called Shocker. So it's another one of those things that Prodigy is a newer movie that stole from something that was created earlier. And I'm
Well,
not
the
saying
horror
that
steals from
new
everybody.
absolutely. And I'm not saying that you can't do it. You know, they say imitation is the best form of flattery. I'm not saying that these movies aren't good just because they use certain things or they are familiar of things in the past, but I'm telling you, none of the new movies have any leg to stand on without what has come before it. I mean, I feel like we can all agree on that. And specifically, I don't think the characters that are being created now are as scary as the characters in the past. Freddy, Pinhead, Michael Myers, like, you know what I'm saying?
Pennywise.
There's Pennywise. Like, I literally was talking with Eli about that before. Like, these are characters that like created the space for me to be scared of, like, if it was a younger me and I seen Pennywise, like, you know, it had me like with a phobia. I don't want to say phobia of clowns, but like I really didn't mess with clowns for a long time because of that movie.
I
You
do
know what I'm
remember
saying?
showing you a clown video and you swatted my phone out of my
Like, bro, I
hand.
don't like. I'm telling you, bro. Like it's when it comes to movies and stuff like that, I can deal with them. But if it's like real clownage, bro, I don't know. I still don't. You know what I mean? Like it's
Well, I mean, look at history. We've had plenty of clowns that were secretly bad. I mean, the
John
stereotype
Wayne
for party
Gacy.
clowns is that they're all drunken losers, you know? But
That's
then you
true.
get guys like John Wayne Gacy, who was a clown for hire, and now you're like, well, I don't trust you.
Jesus, like I'm not hiring any clowns. It's like imagine watching Pennywise, right? And then like boom, documentary, John Wayne Gacy. Your whole life's fucked up.
It's
You
horrible.
feel me? You feel me? But no, I definitely feel like I like new horror, Eli. I like new horror. I enjoy a lot of the things that come out of it, but I also feel like I was more scared. And I'm a grown man now, so that might be part of it, but I was more scared of the characters that they created before. Jason was scary, but I want to say this. Friday the 13th series, there has never been a good movie. The first one, other than that, none of the movies are good. They're fun and like, you know, well, when you're younger, I guess they can be scary because, you know, Jason in a hockey mask, but I don't think any of the Friday the 13th movies are good.
I think it's more scary for the time period, you know? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
but as like a movie goes, I do kind of like parts 6 and 7. Just because those are two movies that establish Jason he's dead. Because contrary to everyone's belief, Jason never drowned in the lake. His mom thought he did. He actually got washed up on the other side of the lake, and then he waited for his mom for like X amount of time. Then he saw his mom get beheaded. Then he's lived in the woods. Now in part 6 and 7, he's actually dead. But now he's got like super strength, and he just won't stop. He's the Terminator now.
Which one is Jason Goes to Hell?
Is
that 9?
Yeah, it's about 9. That's that because there's no more Friday. That's when the series stopped being Friday the 13th, and now it's Jason blank.
Jason, yeah. Okay, so where was Jason? Which one is Jason in Manhattan?
That's part 8.
Okay, see,
that was the last one. That was the last one. That was Friday the 13th.
Yeah, right. When he's getting boxed up by that black man on top of the roof, and then that dude gets his head punched off. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like, you're punching a hockey mask, like bare knuckle too.
Yeah,
like,
he's not even running.
I feel like Jason was just looking at him the whole time, like, are you serious?
The fact that he didn't die way before then, or the black man didn't run, like, I'm not gonna stand here and fight the guy who's been killing everyone like a tank. Like, no, it makes no sense. But like I said, none of the movies are good, but there is entertainment factor and all that. Like, I could watch that scene over and over again because it is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, like we all know that the movies are schlocky and they're kind of like corny, but then you get scenes where Jason's doing the sleeping bag thing, or if you're just wanting some memorable scene
Jason
where it's
X.
like where it's just funny to you, watch Crispin Glover dancing.
Right.
I always thought that was funny because he looks like he's having a seizure.
See, those early 2000 between like 2000 maybe 2007 horror movies. No, there might have been some good ones, but let's just talk about Freddy versus Jason X, Rob Zombie's. Don't get me wrong, I like Rob Zombie's Halloween for what it was and when it came out. But like, let's just be realistic about that movie. That movie is like just extra for no reason. Like, there's
all of the Rob Zombie movies are extra for no reason.
Of course, it's Rob Zombie, but still, you get what I'm saying though.
It's always like rednecks in a horror movie, and that's all it is.
Right. Like damn, why?
And no matter what movie it is, they're basically playing the same characters. I think attitude-wise, he improved on Michael Myers, but as far as like backstory and stuff goes, he took away. It was bad.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Not like
like,
bad,
geez,
but it's like we didn't need to see him having a crappy childhood.
it was better to think that he had a decent childhood and like just change, like something just snapped in him. You know what I mean? Instead of, oh, here's the. I mean, yeah. If I went back,
My
if
childhood
I
was
went,
rough.
I was gonna say, if I went back to that house, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, you know what I mean, but you know, dealing with it every day, somebody's gonna fucking snap, bro.
I'm not
Like
saying
he's
I
not.
approve, but I
His
understand.
mom's a stripper. Dad, I don't even know if that's his dad. Like, it never
Stepdad.
even. It's a stepdad. Okay, yeah, who's a drunk and an asshole. His sister be doing extra stuff with a boyfriend who's a dick. Like, I mean, like, there's bullies at school. You don't get away from it. You don't get
Get
away
bullied
from
by
it.
one
Like,
of the Spy Kids.
by one of the Spy Kids, not Junie Cortez.
Yep. You know what? So here's the thing. Halloween, the original Halloween, the reason why it shows the established shot of Michael Myers as a kid, it's because he's supposed to represent the fear that parents had back in like the 50s and 60s of Halloween, and you know, these things like that are going to turn our kids evil. They're going to turn our kids into degenerates and things like that. That's why, you know, Michael didn't say nothing. He's just nothing. We don't know what made him that way. He just is. Also, can we point out something real quick?
Yeah.
The entire first scene of the movie, you know, where it shows him going through the house, the
Through the mask,
boyfriend
just the
and the
lens of the
sister going
mask.
upstairs, doing their thing, and coming back down. That's one shot.
Yeah.
Michael had enough time to walk. That had to go in, pull a mask on, and then he saw the boyfriend go up and down while he was buttoning his shirt back up. That kind of says some bad things about that boyfriend, doesn't it?
Right.
He had no time. He was probably just went up there, saw her, and was just like,
Another thing, yes, the single shot was awesome. Another thing I loved about the opening scene of Halloween is that you don't, like, when you're first getting into it, you don't know who you're watching commit these crimes. And then at the very end, whenever he's out the house and the police walk up on him and they take the mask off and it's a little boy, you get what I'm saying? Michael. And then he's got the knife in his hand, bro. Crazy.
and he looks almost like he's dissociated because he's just sitting there going, and it's like, you know, he was just killing some kid, but then when you whip the mask off, he looks innocent.
Right.
Which, again, Rob Zombie kind of ruined that, because in the movie, like, yeah, we understand he's got issues, but then, you know, in the hospital, he's like doing the whole, is everyone at home okay? And I'm like, I think you know very well they're not okay.
Yeah, like, come on, bro. Let's be
Like,
realistic.
it didn't come off as like, oh, he's got issues or he doesn't understand death. No, it just made him look stupid.
Right. And then they're like, oh, why is he in the mental hospital for this? Like, come on now. Like, are y'all not explaining to him what he's done so he could be rehabilitated? Like, are y'all just letting him? I mean, what's going on? Rob Zombie movie, like I said, I liked it for the time, but like when you really, as an adult and like really analyzing the movie compared to the original, like, it is far from good. You know what I mean? Just everywhere. The whole town is shitty. Like, a lot of people in that town is shitty. So
even
it's
the
like,
doctor trying to help him is shitty. He made a whole book about his patient before he went on a killing spree.
Right. Like, it's crazy. This is the face of evil. Like, you didn't even like it was.
He was 12 years old.
Yeah, it's he went hard with it. But yeah, like I said, the string of like, okay, Jason X, Leprechaun, and when did Leprechaun in Space come out?
That was in the 90s.
Yeah, see, oh my god, there's certain things that just shouldn't be done.
Hood.
Leper in the Hood, Leprechaun in the Hood. Hey man, say man. We ain't gonna talk about that movie, okay?
Me and my friends, we quote that rap he does at the end all the time. Just, I come from the land of the Irish Spring. Dublin's the place where I learned my thing. It's so fucking cheesy, but I love it so much.
Oh my gosh, man.
You got Ice-T playing the corrupt manager.
Yes, bro. Oh my god.
Because we all believe Ice-T would pull some stuff like that.
Oh my god, man. That movie is different. I will say I know people who are fans of that movie. I like that movie for what it is. It's cheesy fun. Because there's two of them. It's Leprechaun in the Hood, and then there's Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Like, dude, is this really what we're doing? Is this really what we're doing? It's
I think
okay.
that was the same company that may have made the Evil Bong series.
Oh my god. Leprechaun up there getting high and shit. Like, damn, bro.
Smoking clovers.
crazy. Yeah,
Have
no,
you ever
it
seen
was.
Killjoy?
I don't think I've seen Killjoy.
I know you said you don't really mess with clowns, but so Killjoy is this. It's supposed to be like the whole Killjoy is the spirit of vengeance who kind of like tags on to certain people. But then as the series goes on, they make it more and more scary and all messed up. So the first movie is, oh my god, it is so terrible. Like, first off, you got this clown and he's talking like he's out of the hood. There is literally a scene, I kid you not, he goes, like, he rolls up on a dude who, see, what they do is they bully this one dude, like, so bad that he has this little Killjoy doll, and he's like, he basically ends up accidentally summoning him. So when the bully is like just minding his own business, Killjoy rolls up on him, and then he's like going, the hell you want? And Killjoy says, shut your bitch ass up before I smoke your ass. I'm like,
When did this movie come out?
early 2000s, but they were making them up until I think 2016.
No way.
Because it went to like Killjoy 1, 2, and 3. 3 I thought was pretty cool because that's where they kind of established he really is a demon and stuff like that. And then you had Killjoy Goes to Hell, and then I think Killjoy in Space or something like that.
No fucking
Killjoy
way.
TV.
Killjoy TV. I'm gonna have to look this up, bro. Let me.
Or Killer Carnal. It's something.
We're talking about it, so I kind of want to look. Here we go.
There is this one like.
Is this what we're talking about?
That is Killjoy.
Goodness.
That one where he's looking all crazy into the camera. That's Killjoy 3. That's one of my favorites.
This one?
That one where it was his hand up right there.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Killjoy's Revenge. I see it. Yeah.
That's it.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
one of the cool ones. There's actually a character in there that's kind of like Harley Quinn too. Her name is Batty Boop.
Batty Boop. Okay, they're just doing whatever now.
Is that the green-haired lady?
It's one of those like low budget like horror companies. The same people that make Puppet Master.
Who did you said Puppet Master? Who did you say, Eli? What lady are you talking about?
I was asking if the green-haired lady was Batty Boop.
That is her.
Yeah. Okay. No, I've never.
She talks almost identical to Harley Quinn.
I've never seen this before a day in my life. Are these just his goons or something?
Pretty much. Batty Boop is supposed to be his girlfriend. And according to her words, she's got teeth everywhere.
Oh, goodness.
Teeth
Which that's another horror movie I feel like not a lot of people talk about was teeth.
Oh, no.
Right.
That teeth. Oh, my gosh. That's a good movie, though. Like, I feel like it's underrated. I don't think enough people. Well, I feel like when it did come out, people were talking about it, but like, I mean, I feel like it's one of the.
We're talking about it.
I feel like it's faded into obscurity, but it's one of those movies that like was crazy when it came out for sure.
Yeah, I feel like around like 2014 is where we started drifting away from being regular horror movies, and then everything had to be artsy, Like A24, everything is artsy and has a hidden meaning.
I love A24. I'll be the first to say that. I love A24. Please,
A24?
if you have just about.
So there's just about The Front Room, horrible movie.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's on Max right now. It's about the mother-in-law. It's just like brainwashing the daughter-in-law or whatever.
Yeah. With Brandy, was it Brandy in that?
I think so.
Yeah. Because it was like she's like the lady. The wife is black, the husband's white, and the mother-in-law's white, and they got her in the front room or whatever.
Yes,
I believe. I haven't watched that. I don't even know. Like I haven't.
It is.
I can't judge that because I haven't seen it.
Look, 10 minutes in the movie, I'm sitting there asking questions. I was like, "How is this a struggle? She's clearly an asshole." Like,
look,
and then there's like poop and pee all in the movie. I'm like, this is just gross.
Nah, I don't know. Like I haven't seen it. But most movies like that, I would just say I typically give a pass on, not all the time, but like movies like that I typically don't watch. I'll be honest with you. When it comes to A24, I mean like, Iron Claw, like this upcoming Warfare movie, I'm gonna watch that. Civil War was decent. Talk to Me was great. That was a great horror movie. There's a lot of
everything in like those kind of horror movies, they have these hidden meanings and things like that, where I get where like someone like Jordan Peele, when he's making movies, I understand some of the stuff he does and he does it tastefully, but then you have these like all the feelings of the movie, they all kind of feel like they're trying to pour it on. You know what I mean?
They're trying to force it on you a little bit.
Kinda, but in like it's going down in a weird direction. Like
Yeah.
whereas like everyone like is all, oh, the Babadook, is so good.
The movie is fucking
Is it
trash.
though? Because that kid's an asshole.
That movie is trash. I hate that movie.
People talk about praise the movie. I don't want to say it's bad because it's not bad, but it's not good. It's not good. It's mid. Like it's not good either. Like
That is the most disappointed I've ever been watching a movie.
Absolutely. I just watched a movie called The Woman in the Yard. Eli said, "Don't go watch that movie," and I still went and watched it.
Watch that.
And I still went and watched it, and it wasn't good. It was not good at all.
Was it as bad as The Woman in Black?
Oh, is that the Woman in Black? Is that the one?
It's got Harry Potter in it.
Daniel Radcliffe. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. No, I vaguely. I don't know if I don't think I've seen that movie. I feel like I've started watching it but never finished it, and I don't think I was into it. Like The Nun 2 wasn't good, even though I liked the first Nun. Insidious I think the first three. No, is it the first two Insidious movies are my favorite. Is the third one the Skeleton Key? I can't remember. I feel like they veered off at some point, but Insidious was like a refresher on the like the paranormal, horror.
And I kind of like how it's basically just the same cast from The Conjuring.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Because James Wan, he uses the same people. James Wan. I know this is a little bit off topic, but Patrick Wilson's like one of his favorite people to use. If it's Insidious, if it's starting The Conjuring, even Aquaman. Like, come on, bro. Like he's in all his movies. I like Patrick Wilson. I like Patrick Wilson a lot. He directed the last Insidious movie, the Red Door?
Yeah.
Did you guys get a chance to see that?
Yeah.
It was decent, but it wasn't like, I would give it maybe like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Like it was decent. It wasn't like the best, but to see.
What would you give the OG Insidious?
That is like a solid 9 out of 10, bro. Like straight. That was.
Did y'all watch all the Conjuring movies?
Absolutely. I didn't like the last. I've watched all of them, but I didn't like the last one.
What, The Devil Made Me Do It?
The Devil Made Me Do It. Oh my god, I did not like that movie.
Yeah, halfway through, it kind of felt like it was more of like
some court kind of drama,
supernatural episode.
It felt like a court drama, like for part of it, and like, oh my god, it just wasn't. Personally, to me, it just wasn't good. The first 2 movies did a really good job with the scares. I mean, of course, it's like predominantly jump scares, but setting up the tension and then releasing that jump scare on you. I believe they did a really good job in the first 2 movies. The third movie, I don't feel had as much oomph to it, so it just didn't hold on to me as long. Like I was kind of bored with it halfway through the movie. But yeah, I would say the first 2 are definitely A1 horror films. The first Conjuring, I'd probably give it 8 out of 10, or I give the first Conjuring a 7.5 out of 10 because I want to give the second Conjuring an 8 out of 10 because I like the second one better than I like the first one.
I attribute 2020 to the fact that Lorraine Warren passed away.
Oh my gosh, why? Because all the movies?
Well, yeah, no, Ed and Lorraine Warren, they were real people, and Ed died somewhere in 96, I think.
Right.
But Lorraine died in 2019. And they have all that stuff in their actual house. Like there's the real Annabelle.
Yeah.
And it's like a little they have a priest come by once a year and bless the house. But now I'm like, if Lorraine is dead, are the kids gonna make sure it happens?
Just destroy the stuff, bro. Like if it's real, if you feel like it's like that serious, it's good to just get rid of it. Like, why are you keeping things like that?
I think it's along the lines of like, if the vessel is destroyed, then the spirit is free.
Well,
like it's free to do more.
Keeping it contained.
Let that spirit be free.
No. Like it's let loose.
Oh, let loose just to do what it wants.
Yeah, like some Danny Phantom stuff where it's all just out.
Well, it's been a while since I've heard of a possession, so let's just go ahead and, what I'm saying, let's just go ahead and get that kick started. Yeah, let's just no. I'm saying let's just go ahead and get that kick started again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when's the last time, like, an Amityville horror? No, I'm sorry. Let me stop. We don't need none of that.
Emily Rose.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
My mom watched that when it came out, and then she like called me in the room and like said, "Hey, look at this," and I was like in 5th grade or something like that. And I'm sitting there watching this chick like bend her backwards, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm like mortified. Like, Mom, what is this?
I kept staring at the barbed wire fence outside, and I was like, "She isn't out there, is she?"
And this is what happens when you have sex before marriage, Taylor.
No, my mom and dad were just casually showing me horror movies. I used to be terrified of horror movies when I was like a kid. I was kind of a late start getting into them.
Mm.
The one that used to terrify me as a kid was Chucky.
Oh my gosh!
And every time Chucky would come on, my dad would flip it over. As soon as he'd be like, "Hey, you want to come watch wrestling?" I'm like, "All right, yeah, whatever." And then he'd flip it over and be like, "Oh, Chucky," and I'm like, "Ah!" And I'd just take off.
Like ruining your wrestling for with Chucky. That's so
Dirty move.
I was like, damn, Dad,
Yeah.
you're doing me wrong.
And then he just always
man.
teased me with it. He'd be like, "Andy." I'm like, one time, someone I went to school with, who I was picked on like heavily in school, they got wind that I was afraid of Chucky, and they were doing a presentation. They snuck in a picture of Chucky on the
No, they fucking did
on the
bro.
PowerPoint
That's
in front of everyone.
Oh,
And I like dove down because of that.
Oh
that
my
kid got so
gosh.
much trouble because they found out he deliberately did that to scare me.
Oh my god, bro, that's fucked. It's funny now, but it's
It
fucked
is.
up. It's
Now
fucked
Chucky's
up.
one of my favorites.
How do you feel about Chucky, Eli? How do you feel about the Child's Play series?
I mean, I enjoy it for what it is. I like the show that they just had recently. I didn't watch all the seasons, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Did you see the remake they did with Mark Hamill? Yeah, as a voice. Aubrey Plaza played Andy's mom.
I liked it.
I didn't hate it. It wasn't terrible.
It's a nice take on it. It's like it made it. It's semi believable. Because we all like everyone has an Alexa or a Siri.
Absolutely, and I feel like it's. I could pull up if you want me to pull up a reference, I can too. But yeah, I feel like it's.
Oh, I didn't see that one. 2019.
Yeah, you should check it out, bro. It's definitely.
Are you excited for Megan 2.0?
No, did you see the trailer for that?
I did.
They're going in like a T2 direction. Like they go from horror to action. Look at Chucky's face though. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, that's a.
It kind of reminds me of Furby back in the day.
That is a face, but if that thing comes at me, I'm scared.
What about the little bear one? Like I feel like the bear one was more terrifying.
Yeah, there was a bunch. Here's the thing about it. They like, no, I don't want to ruin it for Eli. I will actually check it out, but I'll say this, Eli, it is different from the original. It is very similar in certain ways, like Andy, his mom, Chucky.
Gaslighting,
but the way that
make it seem like the kid is doing it.
Absolutely, but everything like it's not supernatural in any way. So without ruining it, that's pretty much the twist on it. It's not supernatural in any way. And
there were some stuff that were kind of shoehorned in there, and it kind of didn't make sense to have.
At the very end, I don't know. I kind of like the way it was. There was like certain things at the end. I don't want to. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to go into too much detail. I want Eli to have a chance to watch it. But I will say that at the end there were some things that were kind of weird. But I mean, I guess it makes sense in the grand scheme of what happened with the actual Chucky doll. So I mean, I guess it's not a bad movie. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. It's better than mid, and it's not the worst outing for a Child's Play movie because I mean. We've had Bride of Chucky, we've had Seed of Chucky, we've had Cult of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, like all those movies were bad, but yeah.
And all through that time, Jennifer Tilly has not aged.
She just looks the same, huh? Pretty much.
Maybe there's something like secret on Family Guy.
Absolutely. Have you seen? Well, let's start with this. Are you a fan of the Hellraiser series?
Absolutely.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Some of them are really good, but then some are really bad.
Absolutely.
My favorite was part 3 when he's just a straight up slasher,
Yeah, okay.
And they're like just rampaging through the town. I'm like, this is cool. But then you got like the part 2 I felt like was the scariest though. Because she's in hell.
Yeah. I would say I like the original OG Hellraiser, like the first one the best. And then runner up is the newest one with the androgynous Hellraiser. I thought that was
Judgment.
No, was it Judgment? Is that what they called that?
Or was it just?
I think it's just called Hellraiser at this point.
I think it's just called Hellraiser, the newest one.
The Hulu one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's just Hellraiser.
Okay.
Yeah. Was it? I
love the reboot.
2022.
Yeah, 2022. Yeah. Okay, making sure I'm looking at the right one. I thought it was great, bro. And she did phenomenal job.
I like how everyone's all like bent out of shape. That oh, there's a transgender woman playing Pinhead. I'm like, and
It's a fucking
what's the problem here?
It's a like she's a Cenobite. Like who
Yeah.
cares? Like who cares what
Like,
it is? Like
if
it's
you
a
are
thing.
that up in arms that the bad guy in a horror movie is not aligning with your moral beliefs, I hate to break it to you, but that's kind of how it goes. It's like the whole thing in X-Men Apocalypse, when everyone was upset that some of the promotional material was him holding Mystique by the throat. I'm like, bad guy, you pay, go watch him die.
Bad. That's what I'm saying. Like you're mad. Okay, you don't like that Hellraiser's a transgender or androgynous. Which I mean, who cares? At the end of the day, it's the bad guy. Like you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you are paying to watch this person not win.
Like exactly. So why are you so upset? Like you're literally this is the person you're rooting against. You root against this person in real life. You're rooting against this person in the movie. So why are you even complaining at this point? You know what I mean? Which yeah. I mean, no, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was great. I thought it was definitely a good adaptation and a good remake, like something new and fresh.
It was refreshing take,
Yeah.
But I do prefer Doug Bradley. Not
he's just
for
iconic.
any other reason other than he had this commanding presence, like his voice alone. There wasn't much done to his voice. His voice is naturally that deep.
Yeah, for sure. It's just he did a great portrayal, and I mean he's iconic. I don't think when it comes down to it, I don't think there's no replacing. But like I said, and that's why I said the OG Hellraiser would go as my number one.
There are some horror movie actors that they could just read the phone book and they'll sound terrifying.
That's true.
Like you got, and I think the big three
Tony Todd.
Yeah, Tony Todd, Doug Bradley, Robert Englund.
Yeah.
Because Freddie, because I thought one of the most chilling performances he gives is in the Injustice game.
Mm-hmm.
When he plays the Scarecrow.
Is Robert Englund the Scarecrow in the Injustice game?
Mm-hmm.
How do I not know this?
Do you remember the Batman in 2003?
Absolutely.
He was the Riddler.
You know what? That makes sense because the Riddler in that one is like all black hair, fucking emo with the staff,
tattoos going all the way up to his mouth.
Face. Yeah. Makes sense.
And, yeah, I like as soon as I saw him in the Injustice game, and I saw the cast, I was like, Freddy Krueger's playing him, the Scarecrow. Why haven't we had this before? Why is it the first time we are coming to this conclusion?
Which Freddy made an appearance in another Mortal Kombat game. I can't remember. It was MK.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't like that they gave him claws on both hands. I was like, it bothered me. I get why they did it, but it still bothered me.
How's he gonna wipe his ass? Yeah, no. I think Robert Englund is like OG, definitely. I'm trying to think of some of those OG, I think Freddy, like I said, OG. Is it Kane? Who played Kane Hodder? Yeah, Kane Hodder. For Jason, of course, Tony Todd. Who's some more of those iconic? It sucks because I would say you can't say it's Ghostface is. I guess you would say who's the actor? Who's Billy Loomis actor?
That's Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard as Stu Macher.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard.
I actually have a Ghostface mask signed by Matthew Lillard.
Come on, let's get it on. Do you have it next to you right now?
Yeah, hold on, let me grab it.
Yeah, man, go ahead, pull it up. What are you talking about? Go ahead, put it up. I can't talk. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Keep it in my little case.
Yeah, let me see. Awesome. That's dope, bro. And he's honestly, they're the best. Like when it comes, don't get me wrong, all the killers are great. Well, the third one in Hollywood, that one not so good.
The fourth one was kind of bad.
The fourth one with her niece being the killer, that was awesome. I thought that was great, bro.
I kind of get with her, but then you got the nerdy little film buff. I will say this though, they actually did look like high school kids.
Yeah. I think
I take it back. The worst killer for the movie or for the movie franchise, I feel like was part 5. Hold on. Only because of Amber. Amber was the worst.
Oh no, not Huey, not Huey from the boys.
Huey, come on.
No. Huey was great. Huey was perfect. Okay. But Amber was terrible.
I got to do Dewey. I liked her. I got to do Dewey, and I get to do this bitch too. I was like, oh my god.
She did that one-handed.
That's true, bro. That's true.
She's
Yeah.
like this tall compared to him.
I mean, you got to think about it. Like when you're sticking a blade through somebody, she might not even really be lifting bro up. It might just be going through them, depending on how sharp that thing is. You know
You
what
see
I
his
mean?
feet come off the ground though.
I don't remember because it's been a little while since I've seen it, but I like Huey. What
What
about
about my
they're
ending?
what about my
teasing that
ending?
Schumacher is going to be. They're teasing that Stu is going to be coming back.
Yeah, they're talking about AI and stuff like that, how they're going to be replicating voices, like how technology is like going to be a part of this. Like it's been slowly pushing towards that way anyway.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is I like 5 killers better than I like 6 killers. I understand 6 killers motivations and I liked a lot of the movie in 6, but I didn't like the reveal on the killers. Like I feel like they played too much with the audience when the girl gets killed in the apartment, and it's like, you know, then she comes back later on and it's like she's one of the killers too and the dad's a part of it. I'm like, so you're telling me none of these people recognize that this girl wasn't dead and these are all police and stuff like that? There's a lot of plot holes that are involved in that. Even if her dad is working with the police, you know what I'm saying?
I think what happened was the dad just didn't report that there were, like, if there was 3 people that died, he would only report 2 and, you know, get her out of the house. And they'd be like, oh, what's all this extra blood in the bathtub? Oh, that's just, you know, where the sick bastard lured them. You know what I mean? But yeah, it kind of felt a lot like the premise to part 2. You know, they're in college. Yeah. The reveal is a family member, and it's all based on revenge because you killed my family member in the first one.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Which I want to know something for that kind of thinking. Your kid was a serial killer. What did you think was going to happen? Like, you're going to sit there and be all like, you killed my son, like in the second movie. And I'm like, he killed someone else. And I can guarantee you probably excuse that with, well, you know, she broke up my marriage. But why is he going around killing all these other people?
Right.
And then on top of that, I have to ask the question, why didn't you take Billy with you? You abandoned him. If you claim to love Billy so much, why did you leave him behind?
Absolutely.
You could have cleaned out your cheating husband, ripped off his dime, and just been, you know, sane Billy for the rest of your life.
Right. But that's not what she went for. She left that little guy there so he could become a psychopathic killer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Eli, your favorite of the Scream franchise?
Probably the first one.
OG is always going to be the best. Let's just go ahead and then put that at the top. What's the next one?
5.
I'm going with 2 because, well, the opening scene is good. Because we all don't like Jada Pinkett Smith.
And she gets stabbed up in the movie theater crawling.
Also, the dude getting the knife to the temple is like one of the coolest scenes.
Oh, man. I think I'm going to go off the grain on this one. I think other than the first one, the fourth one might be my favorite. I just love the idea that a family member sees that this person has gotten to this point because of what they went through. Yeah, what they went through dealing with this murder. So I'm gonna set this up myself and become her. And it's like, if you kill her off and then you get to become the next celebrity, like, and then she hurts herself. Like, it's just so good. I feel like the setup is she kills the dude. She's like, I want to be the lone survivor. Like, oh my gosh. And then just the desperation at the end, whenever she finds out that Sydney's still alive. Like, I don't know. I would say my second favorite for sure.
The part that got me in part 4 was when, like, okay, you're doing the problems to the first movie. You're going to do the frame job. Okay, cool. I understand that. What I don't understand is the fact that you did not think this through. You duct tape this dude's hands together. There's going to be adhesive on his hands. You shot him in the nuts point blank. They're going to know you didn't really fight him off or anything like that. You know, like he was on the ground. They can track blood splatter.
I feel you. I feel like one of my favorite scenes is when he gets stabbed in the head.
Where he's like, "Fuck Bruce Willis."
Fuck Bruce Willis. It falls.
That's his last words.
Words right before he died. Like, that's crazy. How is "fuck Bruce Willis" your last words? Bro? Yes, I don't know, bro. The mixture of comedy and it's not so much. It's like I don't want to call it comedy because it is like supposed to be serious, but it's like, I don't know, it is funny too because it's just so
Horror
good.
comedy is always a good thing. I love horror comedy.
It's meta. It's just very meta. I mean, that him getting stabbed and saying fuck Bruce Willis. I don't know how that's meta, but like the movie in general is meta.
Plus, I think we can all agree the Stabathon seems like a really good party.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was actually one of the highlights in that movie as well.
The
That was pretty
theater
dope.
here in Cornelia, they're actually going to be showing Scream on May 4th.
Really?
Yeah, they do like the flashback cinema on Sundays. May 4th is scheduled to be Scream.
Okay. We need to.
And me and
Okay.
Kayla are going up there. We're gonna, because we're big into Scream.
Yeah.
I was planning on doing for our anniversary. We were gonna go. I was gonna rent like a movie theater and be like, hey, let's watch all the Scream movies up there. And then I found out how much that cost. I was like, let's just do it at home.
Right.
Yeah, but no, we've always wanted to see it in the theaters.
Yeah, man. I didn't get a chance. I think I've seen the most recent ones and I've seen the fourth one up until the most recent one in theaters, but all the ones before that and just at home enjoying them at the house. But I don't know. I love the theater experience when it comes to horror movies in general, just the atmosphere. And imagine back to your point about the second one, the great opening. Imagine being in a movie theater watching the opening scene of that movie for the first time, seeing that lady crawl up on the stage of the movie theater, like in front of the screen, just crazy, bro. I feel like that would be like, oh my gosh, you'd be looking at the movie like the people around you, like what's going on type shit. I think awesome setup.
Because you also gotta imagine remember all those people were being like rowdy as hell, chasing each other through the hall, through like the aisle. Yeah, I think some of them were probably just sitting there going like, Are y'all doing the thing right now? Get out of the way. I'm trying to watch the movie.
Right, exactly.
And what's even more terrifying is, I know I just ripped on the fact that Jada Pinkett Smith got, shish kebab a few times, but the fact is she went out thinking her boyfriend did that.
Right.
And I think that was like double scary.
That's crazy, yeah, because he did have the mask and he went to the bathroom and he never
Had
came
his
back.
jacket on.
Yeah, everything. Never came back. Just started stabbing the fuck.
Yep.
Started stabbing her.
It's funny. I actually, because I make all my own like buttons and stuff, I actually did recently make one of these.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Because that's all I do now is just free time to make design stuff and make buttons.
Awesome. Yeah.
But,
dude.
Yeah,
we got to link together on those buttons because I could use
make stickers too. Yeah.
Couple horror buttons and make a decal.
I think like the worst thing about the Scream franchise though was that every villain past like 2 had almost the worst like reasoning for wanting to kill people. 1 and 2, it was about, revenge.
Right.
Or, unless, you're the lackey, in which case it's about something else. Like Stu, he did it all for Billy, which, everybody's got that whole fan theory. But then 2 is like Mickey was actually deranged and he was doing it because he wanted to be famous, sort of. He wanted to be like the next Ted Bundy.
Right.
But then you get into like 3 and 4, and it's like, you want Sydney's fame. And everyone's like, it's your fault because you're famous. And I'm like going, the same chick that was in hiding earlier in the movie. Like,
right.
She doesn't want to be famous. She's literally being like, I don't want this life. Like, she had to get stabbed a bunch of times. Like, even if she wanted to be famous, she clearly put the work in.
Yeah, not just stabbed, beat the fuck up, thrown through shit, just fucked up, going through the ringer, buildings exploding behind her and shit. Like, she just got a lot of shit going on.
Boyfriends dying left and right.
Boyfriend's trying to kill her. Like, she's had a shitty life. You want something. Well, they don't want exactly what she's had. Obviously, they're just trying to
They just want the attention.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And I'm like, he's like, the fame, fortune, everything that should have been mine. I'm like, so you wanted a crappy mom.
Right.
Like, because that was the thing he was mad was that, his mom didn't want anything to do with him because that was like the worst night of her life and stuff. I'm like, but she was a crappy mom, hooked up with her daughter's boyfriend's dad and like other men in the town.
Yeah. It's not what you want.
Which I thought I would love to have seen a cut of the movie where that comes out and Sydney finds out like, I need to know what's her rationale for, hey, I'm going to hook up with my daughter's boyfriend's dad. Of all the men, my daughter's boyfriend's dad. So not only will I nuke my own relationship, I'm going to nuke my daughter's relationship.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I think Sydney's mom is like the biggest villain in the franchise.
The biggest. She is the start of the whole series. Like she's the reason for everything. Yeah. I mean the whole thing really. I mean because the other people wouldn't even be trying to imitate it if it never happened. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But yes. I think Scream as a franchise is pretty solid. It might have like a couple hits or miss here and like some plot holes maybe every once in a while, but all together as a whole, I think Scream is one of those iconic franchises. I can't wait to see the next one, and if they do bring back Matthew Lillard, I'm actually excited for it.
Yeah, I love Matthew Lillard. He's awesome.
Absolutely.
When I got to meet him, he was the nicest dude. Like he's over there like posing with all the fans that want a picture. He takes like 4 or 5 with them. Like he's over here like doing the full on like Titanic pose with like people and stuff. It was funny as hell.
Old
like
Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Like, oh hey man, what are you doing? You just getting something signed? I said, yeah, that's all the money I have for it. And that's no problem. He signed the thing and he gave me this really big hug, and I'm like, oh, this was unexpected. I'm not complaining, but it's unexpected.
It's like I wasn't expecting this, but it's nice.
And then I see Skeet Ulrich in the booth next to him, and he looks like he's walked off like the set of like Mountain Men or something like that. Like he not like unkempt or anything, but he looks like a CW character now.
Yeah.
Like he's got the perfect beard, he's got the white teeth, walking around like the baseball cap, and he's just kind of like, hey, how you doing?
Has he done, besides the recent Scream movies, has anyone seen him in anything?
I think he's kind of done more like producing.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. And then Jamie Kennedy was also there, but Jamie Kennedy looked horrible.
Yeah, Jamie Kennedy his career never really took off. Yeah, but I did like. Okay. I was just gonna say I did like him in all like the first 3 Scream movies. That he did a really good job as his character.
I think he shot himself in the foot a little bit because they had this big convention thing, and they're asking all the cast members like, "Oh, what's your favorite quote from the movie?" Obviously Matthew Lillard did the whole "My mom and dad are gonna be so bad," and Sydney's doing the whole "I'm Sidney Prescott, I've always got a gun," and Billy and Skeet Ulrich is like, we all go a little mad sometimes. And Jamie Kennedy's was, well, there's always an excuse to kill your girlfriend. And I'm like, that's your favorite line? That's
okay.
That's not something you want out there on the internet.
He said that's you're really into this horror thing. This little bit. Like Jesus.
Matthew Lillard though, he's good at playing a creep,
Yeah.
Like he was in that, and he was in The Craft.
I haven't seen The Craft. Is that with the witches?
Yeah.
I know what it is, but I've never seen it.
Sydney's in it too. Nev Campbell, she's in it.
Okay, yeah, I've never seen it before.
I highly recommend it. Don't watch the remake, watch the original.
Have you seen The Craft, Eli?
I haven't.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I haven't seen it. But I do want to switch gears. I want to talk about one more movie. Have you seen Hereditary? Okay.
And at first, it's one of those movies that I thought it was good until the last 20 minutes.
No way.
I don't know about that.
Okay, no. It was the part where they start introducing Payman, the demon prince of hell. And I'm like, okay, this couldn't have been something else. Like it had to go into the whole devil, demon stuff. Like you couldn't have made this into something just a little more, we could have expanded on this. Like you spent a little too much time on the other stuff, but now this is just rushed. The ending, that's it. Everything else was cool. The ending was the part I was like, I don't understand. You know what I mean?
I think people were shook by that movie. I think people were shook by the movie. I think
it's a good movie, especially the part, with the anaphylaxis scene, where she sticks her head out the window and it goes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, she did it. She was feeling sick, and she wanted to roll the window down, and she stuck her head out. And
her throat was closing because she ate nuts.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, the brother was all fucked up because he went to the party or whatever.
Yeah.
My gosh, that movie is crazy, bro. That whole movie is crazy. And then all the naked ass people coming to your house at the end. I thought the movie did a great job. The mom being fucked up. Oh my gosh.
And then her cutting her own head off
Our
with a
own
piano
own head
wire.
off. Yes,
Yep.
yes, yes,
Like,
yes, yes.
that was a good part. The part that just absolutely just crapped the bed was just the cult at the very, very, very end. And it's like, you are the demon Prince Payman. And I'm like, we could have done a lot more with this. Or we could have done some cool. I think it would have been cool if it was like, oh, well, it's a coven thing, you know? And like, you know, if one of the high members of the coven die, that you should sacrifice their family or something like that. I thought that would have made more sense.
I don't know. I don't hate the cult aspect. I like it. I thought they did a good job. I thought the whole movie was, I mean, it felt like it was leading up to that anyway, because I mean, even like towards the middle of the movie, that lady who was a part of the cult had been showing up and stuff like that. Like there was just people revolving around the little girl, because I guess the demon was attached to her at first, and then it got attached to the brother, so they started, you know what I'm saying? I felt like it made, like, yeah, we didn't know what was going on and why these people were following, but like at the end of it, yeah, I mean, you get the explanation on why they were around, but the movie as a whole is just, I don't want to say shocked, but it was fucked up, and it told a good story from, like, I believe start to finish, and you could see some of those, like, you could see that it was foreshadowing that it was like a cult or a coven or something out of the ordinary with these people following this little girl outside the school. You know what I'm saying? Because realistically, you don't see a demon at all in the movie. You don't see any type of figure or anything like that. You just see these people showing up. You know what I'm saying? They look creepy, weird, but yeah, I mean, you get the explanation at the end of the movie.
But then you get like the whole.
Give me 1 second. Continue.
Yep. But like I get what you're saying. I think one of the things they really did well with was the mom's like just slow descent. You know, like it starts out, it's like a whole resentment because, you know, oh, you were driving the car because the daughter got killed. Like, yeah, that made sense for her to kind of like keep spiraling. And you think like the mom's going to be the final girl at the end of the movie, but then all of a sudden you see her up on the ceiling just
Cutting their head off.
which I thought that's a cool scene.
I thought the dad being on fire. I thought there was a lot of great horror visuals in the movie. Just the girl getting her head smacked off. Like I said, the cult following the family around. The dad being on fire. The wire, piano wire, with her cutting her head off. There was just a lot of great scenes, I feel like, in the movie, and the culmination of all of it with the cult and the guy becoming, you know, the vessel for the demon. I thought it was a good movie.
It was a good movie, but like I said, the ending just felt rushed, you know?
When's the last time they did something like that, though?
What, like a demon movie like that?
Like, no, I mean, in general, like, have you seen any movies like Hereditary? I'm trying to think if there's, because that's different. Like, I feel like, and that's what I was talking about before. I was like, okay, like when it comes to like Midsummer, I could instantly Wicker Man pick it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it is a clone or a copy, but like it is very similar to the Wicker Man in a way. Harry, I mean, you might be able to say maybe like Insidious, maybe, but it's different. It's different in a way. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that would be like something like the closest comparison I probably could make to Hereditary, but other than that, I mean, I can't think of a movie that is similar to it.
As far as plot goes, I think there have been movies like that with the whole, like, not necessarily all horror movies either, because, you know, remember Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance? That was a big plot of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, making Rourke into that kid's body, all that.
That's true. Yeah. There's some similarities there for sure.
I think Prom Night 2 was actually.
I did not see Prom Night 2. I remember the first Prom Night.
Yeah, Prom Night is a slasher movie. Prom Night 2 is a possession movie. It's called Hello, Mary Sue.
I don't know. I haven't seen the second one.
Yeah, so basically it's like there's a woman who's supposed to be prom queen that night. She dies the night of prom. And then, you know, years later, a woman, you know, she wears her prom dress to the prom, and then she gets possessed by the girl.
Oh, wow.
But there's no cult, so I can kind of see why that's not up there with that. I know that movies like that are out there. I just can't think of any right now.
We'd have to look and see.
Yeah, but then I guarantee you, it's going to be one of them cases like we're going to shut the camera off, and then we're going to be like, oh, why did we do this?
Absolutely. All right. One final question. Okay. What is your favorite horror comedy?
Horror comedy? Ooh, that's a tough one. Let's see. Some of the Chucky movies are pretty up there, but one of my favorites because it's so just stupid. It's like horrible, but I cannot stop watching because it's kind of funny. It's called Deathgasm.
That sounds like
It's,
orgasm and death. So I
well,
mean,
sorry. So it's about a New Zealand heavy metal band who they find a forbidden rift that summons demons. Like they're high school students, and they're trying to start their own like death metal band.
Colleen made me watch that a couple months
really?
ago. Yeah.
You seen this? I haven't
Yeah.
seen this. Is it
Yeah.
good?
There is a
It
scene
is. It's awesome.
where a guy craps blood.
No way. It's good though. It's good. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
It's good. It's funny.
Okay. No, I haven't seen that.
But then, I guess you could also get into like some of the, like Army of Darkness. That's a really good one.
That was gonna be one of mine.
Yep.
No,
I think everybody needs to watch Army of Darkness.
my
That's
favorite
such a good
one.
movie.
My favorite one is easy. It's Tucker and Dale. Tucker and Dale
I
versus
was
Evil.
freaking-
Oh my gosh,
Alan
bro.
Tudyk is a national treasure.
National treasure, bro. And the fact that, like, okay, it's really these kids think that something bad is happening and they're just fucking themselves up. Like, it is just the funniest thing, bro. And I don't know. This by far is probably the best, or for me personally, is the funniest and best horror comedy there is.
Like
I can't think of one.
clearly the main like prep kid is just classist,
Yeah.
Like clearly you're just looking down on poor people. And then I thought the best scene was like, him running through the woods after he saw through a beehive.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my god. Tucker and Dale is literally, like I said, one of my favorite horror comedies ever. Like, let me just play it like 30 seconds.
Like when he finds the picture of his like the prep dude's hillbilly dad, and he's like, he looks exactly like that Kentucky Fried Bastard downstairs.
Exactly. Look, no, look.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is so good. What was he gonna do with that little ass knife?
He's trying to save you. He's trying to save you. Are you okay? Are you okay? Kills me every fucking time, bro. Like, no. And what? Yes, Taylor. Back to your question. What the fuck were you gonna do with that little ass knife? Like,
Well, then again, I feel like
my god.
I feel like Dale was one of those kinds of people that if he got a knife that big stuck in his shoulder, he'd freak out like hell.
He'd be fucked up, but you gotta imagine the mindset. You gotta imagine the mindset of the people who are like trying to attack Dale at that moment. He thinks that Dale's like some psychopathic killer. So why are you coming at him with some little ass knife, Oh my god.
And then like towards the end, when you get the people in the house, like they're all having tea together, and then they decide to come in with like the weed eater and stuff like that.
Right.
And they gets it all up in her face. It's like, why did you guys bust in like that?
Right.
And not just, I don't know, cause a distraction, wait for them to come out, and then get them.
Right.
No, you had to bust in there, and then everything goes to crap.
That's every situation is literally. It's like they set themselves up for failure. The guy literally dove. The wood chipper was going. What were you? The wood chipper was going. Were you gonna sacrifice yourself to tackle Dale into the fucking wood chipper? You know what I mean? Like I don't know what
when he's running and he falls into the pit, the porta potty pit with the pipe sticking up in his chest.
Oh my gosh, man. Okay, that was just a pure accident. That was just a pure accident.
And then there's the cop scene when they call the cops and Tucker and Dale are clearly there and you just see them not doing anything. The guy puts his hand on the ledge and then the little nail board comes up and goes. Dude. Like they should have been like, that was not us. We did not do that.
Yeah. Eli, you have any input
for horror comedy or Tucker and Dale?
Horror comedy.
He said it earlier. I mean, it was going to be Tucker and Dale as my number one, obviously, and then Army of Darkness. I love that movie.
Army of Darkness.
Yes.
Okay.
But honestly, Evil Dead as a whole, like
Evil
the show is
Dead.
amazing. Bruce Campbell is iconic. You know what he said to me one time, Taylor? You know what he said to me one time?
What?
They should just recast Ash.
Yes. I mean, at the end of the day, for a new, if you're going to redo, yes, absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
just make a new character.
I'm not saying right now. But like it's the same thing with Wolverine and everything else. Like, bro, there's a time Indiana Jones. Like, if you either recast a character or leave it alone. Like, they're getting old, bro. You know what I mean?
I kind of like how they did in the last Evil Dead, not Evil Dead Rise, but the one before that.
Yeah.
Where it's like they made this girl Ash, but she wasn't. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's the whole thing where she lost her hand because it got crushed off, but then she stuck it in a chainsaw handle and then was like, going at him. Like, okay, that's where that is. Okay, but she's not Ash, like not in any way, not in name, not in attitude. And then we just have Ash making cameos, which I thought that was done great. I liked the new ones, but I will always love the old ones better.
The classic.
Because
Sam Raimi.
It's also because it was so low budget, but it was so good for being low budget.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sam Raimi is one of the goats, especially horror comedy, but horror in general. I feel like Sam Raimi has a good eye for horror. And like, you gotta imagine the first Evil Dead was made on such a low budget, bro, and he still like was able, and that's why it really took more of a comedic turn because of how low the budget was, but he made it work, bro. And now it's like a cult classic.
Like a lot of good horror movies like got their start with low budget, like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street was made on the lowest budget. New Line Cinema
wouldn't be anything without Nightmare on Elm Street, bro. Straight up. Like,
exactly.
Nightmare on Elm Street saved it. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
plus
100%.
all that was practical effects. The scene where the blood shoots up out of the bed, they had a rotating room that they just flipped around and they just poured buckets of blood through the hole. And they actually almost got electrocuted doing that.
Oh my gosh. Was there a fan? There was a fan going?
No. It was just the bed was on the ceiling. They cut a hole in the bed and they were pouring blood in. The people on the ground level, where the blood was falling down, they were shooting and they had like wires and stuff everywhere. The water was rushing in. The bloody water was like rushing in, and they had cables all around.
Oh yeah.
I feel like scenes like that are the most iconic in horror movies because practical effects will always have a better spot than CGI, and I will stand by that.
Absolutely. Because all the CGI blood doesn't look nearly as good as like practical. Trust me, the Crow just did some dumb shit like that. So we're not gonna talk about that, but
What, the new Crow?
No, we're not gonna talk about that movie right now.
How about the old Crow?
Okay, that's great. That movie is fantastic, but we're not
That's still one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's so good, but like I could talk to you for days about how bad that's another time. Okay, we could talk about The Crow, but let's save that for another time. All right, guys, I think this is a good jumping off point. I appreciate you, Taylor, for coming on with us today. All your insight with horror and everything. It was like awesome talking with you, straight up.
It's my pleasure, man.
Eli, we always do this. This is how it is. I'm sure Eli would love to have you back as well. So
absolutely,
yeah, we're gonna do this again for sure. Next time, since we're already talking about it, we'll have a discussion about The Crow. We could talk about all of them, bro.
Oh, I got plenty to say about The Crow.
Awesome. We will definitely plan for that. But yeah, bro, thank you once again. And I'll see you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I appreciate anyone who's watching out there. If you want more videos just like this, hit that subscribe button. It always helps the channel grow. Jesus. All right, guys, as always, peace.